Hey everybody, it's Christine. Welcome to another episode of Stealing Saturday. Today I am stealing from Kat Martin. She has a colorful style, often uses lots of cut files, and so I am going to dig into that today. I'm starting things off using a very similar cut file to what she used in her layout that I just showed you, and I'm going to jam pack it with color. I am going to use some different patterned papers from Echo Park, but it's not really that important which patterned papers I'm using at this point because they're really just monochromatic, very simple papers. I will link you up to them down below, but it's not really like the collection actually stands out all that much. I did back my cut file originally with some craft paper because I do want the craft to show through a little bit. And I got this cut file from the Paige Evans scrapbooking group on Facebook. She posts a free one each week, and this is one that I've been watching for a while and wanted to use. And so when I saw that Kat had used something fairly similar, I thought that would be a good opportunity to do that. Hers is a little bit less detailed in her layout, but still nonetheless pretty similar concept and filling in those spaces within a circle. Now I am sticking with pretty much primary colors and then the white and the craft, and I'm just using my dual tip glue pen to fill those in. Now what I did to get all these shapes, rather than trace each piece, I cut out some extras of them using the same cut file, and I'm just using the positive and negative space. Now that was a little tricky because contrary to how it looks, these are not exactly the same sized pieces. So I had to do a little maneuvering in order to make it work. Like right there, you just saw me set it in one and realize, nope, it's not going to work there. And I moved it over. I did that throughout, but it still managed to work pretty simple. It's not a fast process ever to back a cut file, so you kind of just have to roll with the process. Now the next thing I'm going to do is use this green gingham paper, which comes from Paper House Productions, and I'm going to use that as a frame for my whole layout to bring out some more green, because as you see, my picture has quite a bit of green going on in it. And you can see I'm really taking on the colorful approach that Kat does. The one big difference I did do here is I stuck with that white background. She has a colorful background on her, not really colorful, it's a calmer background, but she does have a patterned paper background. But still going with the color look, and my picture placement is pretty similar, and that's going to be kind of where I stop pulling from her. I do fill up the circle with lots of embellishments, but I really am just jumping off taking the color and the circular die cut as my main things that I'm stealing today. Now you can see I have used my star punch, one of my favorite tools, and I have just punched out a whole bunch of craft stars. And I'm going to be using those here in just a moment, but first I'm going to take a black pen and I am going to just add some doodling in. This was not planned. I wasn't originally going to go down this route, but I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was a good way to bring in some more black like I'm using in my title there. So I am just going to take it and I am going to just doodle, and I'm going to start on just filling in all those lines that go into the center of the circle. And I'm mixing it up, doing some fully straight on lines and some just dashed. And then I'm going to go back and fill in some of the white spaces on this circle with just different doodling, polka dots and stripes and checks and all those things. I had no rhyme or reason to it, just kind of going wherever my doodling heart feels like going. This is, a technique that I use a lot. I do a lot of doodling. I do a lot of outlining. My black pen gets a good heavy workout regularly, and I think it really brings in a one-of-a-kind touch to each of my projects. So yes, it's something you definitely see me use a lot, and it's probably something you will always see me use a lot. It's just something that is kind of part of my signature style, I guess. It's what I like to do to add in those fun details and such. Now, let's get to adding those stars on. I am going to use some 3D foam to pop each of those up, I am just using some different 3D foam shapes from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. Just, you know, popping them up because everything thus far is very flat, aside from my photo. And so I really want to add some dimension to the whole thing without having to bring in any real fancy embellishments or anything like that. So just using these throughout. I am putting them at the corner of the different spots on the circles, so where you can see, you know, there's an intersection. I am making use of that space and putting the stars specifically right on those. I don't really have a reason for that other than I just thought it looked better when I did that. Now, I'm also going to add in another element, and what that is going to be is I am going to bring in some clouds, and these are actually from Photoplay paper, from their Stuck on You collection that just recently came out. They had a couple of things going for them that work with this layout, and I'm all over the place. Echo Park, Paper House, Photoplay, all different directions. And actually my title is partially from Simple Stories, so lots of different collections mixed and meshed, which is unusual for me. But anyways, back to why this one worked. You can see those clouds have a black outline, and since I've got the doodling already going on, they really worked nicely to complement the approach I was taking at this point. And so I felt like they would be a really good match. Also, it's an outside picture, and you know, it just complemented things nicely. Now I'm also going to add in some black enamel dots, and I'm going to again do those at the intersections, obviously different intersections than the stars are at. And I'm not going to do a ton of these, but just a little bit to bring in a tiny bit more of the black throughout. And again, mixing and matching sizes. Now, journaling. I oftentimes, as I've said, don't journal straight onto my layout because I like to keep it personal. I'll do it on the back side and attach it or tuck it in a pocket or whatever. But in this case, I thought it would be kind of fun to add it all the way around the circle. So all I'm doing is just writing down different things that he really likes around the circle. And then my final step is just going to add some black splatters, and there you have it. So be sure to hop on over and visit Kat's channel, see what she stole from me today, and check out some of her beautiful colorful layouts. We'll see you again next time.